Okay, it's day 182. A little bit of a cold today. I think we were out in the cold too much in Racine. But as you can see, the cherries are starting to bloom here in Washington, which is nice. If you haven't seen it, DeSantis' letter, the 11 congressmen have sent over a letter of criminal referral for Comey and McCabe, and of course Loretta Lynch and Hillary Clinton, and of course Stokes and Page. So this should be interesting because this should trigger some type of investigation. Now, we don't know if an OIG drop is coming or not for Rosenstein like we had with McCabe, but we think that's coming very imminently. Rosenstein obviously had a lot to do with the FISA, re-signing the FISA, even knowing that the FISA process was flawed. I think he signed either the third FISA or the fourth FISA. The other piece that was interesting that's come out is, in terms of speaking of FISA, and this supports more what I said about Veselnitskaya being a surveillance rabbit, in addition to Carter Page being used as a surveillance rabbit later in the election cycle in the August-September timeframe, maybe even October, that Veselnitskaya herself was a surveillance rabbit in the sense that everyone she met with, going to all these different rallies for Trump, everyone she met with then became an object of surveillance. And then the third and final one that goes even further upstream, and I had said that October 2015, basically when Hillary got the ability to sweep money and also NGP van information from the DNC, that's when the real wiretap started in earnest, either through John Brennan directly to Samantha Power and Susan Rice, or through more of a traditional FISA process. I believe it's the first, through Chalupa, etc. But I think you're going to see a massive surveillance program, and I think they used General Flynn as the surveillance rabbit. I think he was invited to see Putin, and then also they did this same thing with Jill Stein, to basically everyone they touched, everyone they met with from that date on became a surveillance target in this Brennan, Chalupa, Samantha Power, Cass Sunstein, Susan Rice type net. So, and of course, Andy McCabe brought in a lot of partners from GCHQ, the Russians, and also I'm going to say on the House and DNC, DCCC side, the Awans. So it's all kind of coming together. True Pundit had that article saying that Page was, not just Page was being used as a surveillance rabbit, but also Veselnitskaya. So that was nice to see that come out. It was nice to see the part come out about General Flynn as well. So we'll see in the next coming days, but the leaks are starting and starting to come from a lot of different directions. I would encourage everybody to continue to support Robin Gritz, continue to support her efforts, because as those types of interviews, long-form interviews, become available and people within the FBI and DOJ really see what's going on, they're going to be much more willing to give little tidbits and say, yeah, you know, there's just certain things you could do when you sit with a journalist and just say, well, that's kind of true. We did actually start surveillance, you know, after Flynn met with so-and-so in October of 2015. It's a lot easier to confirm a question than it is to leak something. It's a much more gray area. So we'll leave it at that, FISA and criminal referrals, and we'll hopefully enjoy the cherries for another week or two.